Hello there. Um, I was always wondering why, when the people pray to God, um, why it is that they do it. In other words, what makes them think that God is going to stop what He's doing and listen to their prayer and answer it? Because Christians, and I'm going to focus on Christians in this, Christians have long said that God is omniscient and omnipotent, all-knowing and all-powerful. And if He's all-knowing, then He knows about your plight. In fact, not only does He know about the issue that you're praying about, He allowed it to happen, regardless of whatever it was. So it's all part of the plan. It's all part of God's plan. Now, if it's part of the plan for you to petition God and say, "Hey, I think you really need to change this. I'm hoping that I'll be good, and you'll reward me, and you'll fix this problem in my life." You're actually insulting this guy, because everything is already a pre-made plan. Everything is already thought out. He knows everything. There's nothing that you can't outthink God. So by asking Him to change part of His plan, all you're doing is pissing the guy off. Do you see my point? So it always makes me wonder why Christians pray. Not just Christians, of just about any faith, but for argument's sake, we'll talk about Christians. And so I don't think they realize that their prayers are going to have this effect. In fact, I think that when they say a prayer, they honestly think that God hears their prayer, and if they've been good enough, or if they promise to be good, or some other trade-off, basically, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. If you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'll go to church every Sunday, and I'll donate, and I'll give to the poor, and all that stuff. That's fine, but you need this reward program in place in order for you to be a better person. That's crap right there. I've said before that an atheist is someone who is good for nothing. And I'm an atheist, and I'm good for nothing. It's a play on words. Maybe you're smart enough to work it out. It was just something that I thought I would make a video about, because I hear people praying all the time on TV, like a natural disaster happens, or a few days ago, when the shooting happened in Arizona, the mayor of Arizona publicly prayed, and praying for the families of the victims and stuff like that, and that's fine. That's fine, but it begs the question: why pray for the families of the victims, of the people that are affected by this? Why pray now and ask for God to help them now? Where was God in the first place? Where was God when all this shit went down? Why didn't God stop it from happening before it happened? I don't think people think like that. I think that they pray in a petition to God to bend His ear just a little bit and make them like He hears prayers, and then all of a sudden there's a certain prayer that He may hear and go, I think I'm going to do something about that one. But the other 5 billion He just ignores. He leaves them alone. All the the people in Africa and poor countries and poor nations starving to death that have been indoctrinated into the Christian faith and whatnot by the Catholic missionaries and whatnot, and they're dying, and they can't feed themselves, and they're dying from sickness and malnutrition and whatnot, and God's not doing anything to help them, and He's supposed to, if He does exist, to stop what He's doing, whatever that is, and come and help you, when you're praying, geez, I hope the Yankees win the World Series tonight, and if they do, then you say, God was a Yankees fan, That sort of mentality is, people don't really let on that their God, the one that they pray to, is a personal God, in the sense that he's just a figurehead that when things go wrong in my life, as long as I've been a good person, as long as I have, gave at collection plate in church, and I've given to charities, and I've been a fairly nice person, then there should be no reason why God should ignore my prayer or plea for help. And yet, the same people, when their situation doesn't change, they just shrug their head and say, oh, well, I guess God has a greater plan for me, and it's all part of God's master plan, And so they're quite willing to acknowledge that it's all part of God's master plan, and yet they still pray, and they still petition Him to change His master plan by inserting a prayer and actually, having God do something to interject. They don't see it. There's no logical connection between the two like that. They don't see it. So why pray at all? If everything's part of a master plan, why do you need to pray? It makes no sense. Praying when everything is already preordained, as God knows everything, and God is the spark, the ignition source of everything, according to Christians, and He is the one that the Alpha and the Omega. So, if He's the beginning and the ending, why pray at all? It makes no sense to pray, because you're barking up a dead tree, if you understand what I'm saying. And yet people still pray. People will pray regardless, because praying is, I don't know, it's like some sort of release, it makes them feel better to pray, when all they're really doing is, talking to themselves, because that's what praying is, because, God is just a figment of your imagination. So, saying useless prayers to a useless God doesn't really help much, but I guess if it makes you feel better, I suppose. Anyway, I just thought I would put this out there and see what you think. And as always, sub, rate, comment, and I hope that more and more people will visit the channel, and hope that they like what they see. And if not, well, you can go fuck yourself. Peace.